welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Boy, have I been gone a while. I am so sorry. What was it, 2 weeks now, I think? Thought I had the flu. 99% sure I had the big COVID. And still have some coughs. Hopefully I can get through this video without coughing. And I haven't been able to taste anything for 2 weeks. This morning when I had breakfast, I think I might have tasted something, but I just might be hopeful thinking. But yeah, let me tell you, if you've ever had where you've lost your taste buds completely from that nasty little disease or sickness, whatever you want to call it, it is awful. You can smell the food, smells great, and then you go to taste it and there's nothing. It's just bizarre. So, but off of my pity party, I'm feeling better. I've been weak for most of this, probably till about 2 days ago, where just had no energy for anything. Very foggy. So yeah, so today I felt much better. So I said, you know, I've been thinking about this idea for a while, so I'm going to come on and we're going to have fun making a new project today. Hopefully you will enjoy it. And hopefully this will be the beginning of me coming back and doing some stuff. So here is 2 of my made so far, and then I'm going to show you how I did them. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so these are the items. So it might be hard to see, but they are basically like a stained glass look that I have put between 2 ribbed pieces of paper. So this one I've made to like a journal card with some pinks and yellows in there. And this one I've made to be like a wraparound page. Now these were my fun trials, so probably not the best paper in the world. But I wanted to show you 2 ideas, and then I'm gonna show you how I did them. So let me show you the page one first. So my idea book, if you haven't seen it, I have this huge idea book. And like I said, this one would be like a pocket, and you might, hopefully you can see it better now, because that was a clear tape with alcohol ink. I forgot to mention that. That's alcohol ink in the clear tape. It becomes a clear pocket. So let's glue this, and okay, let's see if this is gonna work. It's been a while. There we go. So I'm gonna attach it like a pocket. I think I'm going to put some glue on the bottom. I think it should work on that tape. And I'm going to put it down here. Hopefully the glue should work with the clear tape. I can't see why not. This glue is pretty strong for most stuff. But if not, at least I put the glue on the paper part, and it should be good. Now, if you don't like the shiny edge, I figured you could probably add some sort of washi tape or something to it. It would be an option. But then you have some sort of journal card or something. Like this is fun with the butterflies, and be able to slide that in there. It's almost like those, oh boy, when you were growing up, they had those like secret decoder things where it would have a red cellophane, and there would be mishmash of like red and blue words on things, and when you went to put it in, it would get rid of one color and it would decode what it was. It totally reminds me of a decoder. That's very cool. Wasn't intentional, but I might have to figure out how to make something to be a decoder. Very cool. I like that. So that would be how you would go ahead and work it as a pocket for that. And then let me show you the other idea I had for it. Not that there's only 2. It's the first 2 I thought of. All right, so I have one of my dyed papers. I'm going to fold it like you would do a signature. And then I've got this. And what I thought could be kind of fun would be to wrap one of these around a page and have it stick out like a little tab for that. So let's see if I can glue this down. And if I'm going to make it a tab, I'm going to glue the whole thing down. I could probably, I probably could make it a tuck, but we're going to put this side in first and glue it down completely. But like I said, I probably could make it some sort of a tuck spot, but this is can be like just the decorative side. Add a little washi tape, add some stuff there, and then for this side, I said if I wanted to make it some sort of a tuck or a tab, we can go ahead and just put some glue on the bottom. You can go ahead and use that as a tuck spot if you wanted to. The stuff could show through or not. Or if you just wanted to glue it down. And I'm just going to throw some glue on there just because this is more of a sample. Glue them down completely and then decorate it with something fun. When they were in a journal, this see-through part would be sticking out of the book. Now, I don't have a journal in progress, but I have this one sitting around here, the bees and butterflies. So we would pretend that that went in there. And it would stick out, kind of crinkly, kind of fun. And you could go ahead and put it inside of a signature page. Very fun. I like that. Okay, so let me show you how I showed you a couple ideas for it. I'm sure I'll come up with a couple more. But let me show you how easy that is. I'm going to get this out of the way. I just had this out just so it would have some sort of white to be able to show for it. I am using, since it is alcohol inks, I am putting this down because, you know, alcohol stains everything. And I am using, this is the sticker release kind of backing paper, something slick because I want to be able to stick down my tape and not have it stick permanently down. All right, so I have a regular just piece of scrapbook paper. It's not too thick, not too thin. I started out, I think they're 3 inches. This is about a hair bigger than 3 inches. So what I did on these is I just went ahead and tore them. I'm going to tear them down the center, the side. Since there is a flower here, I think I'm going to tear it more toward the side here to give it a bit of a gap. All right, so I'm going to tape it from the back, and I'm just going to use clear packing tape. And I'm going to flip it this way so it's more facing me. Now I'm going to rip it longer than the sheet because if you ever use clear packing tape, even if your hands are clean, when you grab the tape, it like pulls the sticky off and it leaves fingerprints. So if you don't necessarily want fingerprints in there, you want to make it a little bit longer. Now, unfortunately, usually when this tape pulls, I get little lines on it too, but there's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to turn the sound off while I do this too. All right, the sound of that is awful. You can see there's a little bit of a line there, but it's pretty good. And I have, like I said, I'm holding on to the edges so that my fingerprints are far off. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put the tape and I'm going to make sure I cover the entire piece of paper. If I want a much wider gap, I'm going to make sure it's near the end. If I don't care if it's too big, I'll leave it in. There's really no hard and fast rule for it. All right, but we're going to put it down. Give a little push on there, and I'm going to flip it over so I can add the other side. Now, if you want at this point, you can remove it so you can see if things are going straight because the tape is facing up and it's not going to get stuck. But it's not necessarily, you can go back and cut it later. And the line is here for this, and I want to make sure that the tape is not sticking off that end, and we're going to go from there. All right. If this is not perfect, that's okay. We're going to cut this eventually after I put the second piece of tape on there. All right, we're going to put it back on here so I don't get my stuff all over the thing. Sticky fingers. All right, so alcohol ink. I have pulled 2 for this one. I pulled Pink Sherbet and Flamingo, 2 different colors. I think it's best from the few that I did to have contrasting colors. I think are kind of fun. All right, we're going to start with Pink Sherbet because I think that is pretty close to that color. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to dot it in there. And you could, do some lines. And I'm not worried if it hits the edge and it absorbs. It kind of gives a, inking, distressing the sides. Whoa. That was more than I wanted, but, that's what it's going to be. Okay. Close that up. And we're going to let this dry for a second. All right, and we'll use the Flamingo. And we're just going to put it in spots. I'm not going to go too far above it. All right, I think I'm going to stop with that one. I think I'm going to add a little gumball. Let's see what that looks like. Now, you do not have to fill every spot in. You can leave some clear spots, but it seemed to me that it looked more like a stained glass window if I filled the spots in. And once again, I am fine that it is absorbing down the side. Okay, that's probably more than enough. All right, so we're gonna let that dry for a minute. And I'm gonna take a second piece of tape to put over it. Again, I'm turning the sound down for this. All right, made it long enough. Now I'm gonna do my best to make it even so that the width, the 2-inch width of this tape is right next to each other. And it's kind of hard to see when it's clear, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay, now here comes the fun part. We're gonna squish it. We're gonna squish it. Now, if you let it dry completely, you're not gonna get any squish. You're not gonna get a lot of squish because it does dry. But if it's a little bit wet, you are gonna get a little bit of a squish and kind of blend it together. And since it is sealed inside the tape, clean. And hopefully you can see how pretty that is. All right, so all I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna cut this excess tape off. On the top and the bottom. And there we go. Cute, right? So, like I said before, if you wanted to add it like a pocket, you can go ahead and add it as a pocket. Make it into a tag. Whatever you want to do. Interesting, there's like a square there. Not sure how that happened. But so cute, right? And like I said, I don't mind the trail of the excess, which has colored. It seemed like the thinner the paper, the more absorbent it was. The one that was a little thicker didn't seem to absorb as much. But even doing this side, doing a white page and making some color would be pretty on its own. I haven't tried that, but that might be something fun to do. And we're just gonna try to get any air bubbles out. But you can see it wasn't too bad, even though there was a line on one. It really didn't leave any line for that. All right, so the other thought I had was to be able to put something behind it, like a window. So I've got this, and I could do the blue, but I'm thinking the white's gonna be better. And I'm going to stamp it so that you can see the stamp through the window and make this a little bit thicker journal card, because right now, if it was just a journal card, pretty flimsy. It would work, but it's a little bit flimsy. So what I'm thinking of doing is I've got these music notes. I was thinking about putting the music notes on there. I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair in the darker black so it shows through. And we are gonna, now it doesn't have to be too big because it's really just gonna show behind that window. And we're gonna put it right there. This card I think is like 4.5 by 6.5, so it's definitely, I just need to do the top, definitely bigger than the card. So when I attach this to the back, I'll have to cut some away. There we go. Get this off of here before I get it stuck on something else. There we go. Okay, so this is, oh, sorry. This is now gonna go behind here, or in front of there, and look how cute that is with that on there. I like it. All right, we're gonna go this way. No, we're gonna go this way. There we go. The numbers are correct that way. Okay, we're gonna go that way. Yep, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto this just to make sure that it becomes, that is part of the card, not as a pocket. So I'm going to use my glue stick and glue the whole thing. I'm not going to put any glue necessarily behind the window. I think this glue would probably dry okay, but no need to test those limits. I got a little bit on there, it looks like. All right, and we can trim it, so if it's not exactly straight, it will be okay. I did get some glue behind there, but it'll dry. Clear. If not, it's purple, and I think the color will be okay. All right, so I'm gonna trim it. A little crooked on the bottom. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a straighten. And I think corner rounding would probably be cute on this. So we're gonna corner round. And I think like a pinkish, oh, it's more red. Let's see, this one's kind of pink. Should be some ink on here a little bit. Yep, there's a little bit of ink. Just gonna add a little bit of pinkish red ink to the outside of this. Whoops. Didn't cut through the tape as well as it should have. Well, there we go. Cute, right? Nice little thing, nice little pocket. I don't think this will fit in here, but no, it won't fit in there. That's a side tuck. Let's see if I can find. I need the side tuck to go the other direction. Seems like I need to put more in that go that direction. This would be really pretty with it, but I would not want to cover that side. Yeah, fun. Let's make another one. All right, so I have this card that I have cut. Again, I think this is probably 3 by 6, and lots of fun colors on here. And I think I'm gonna rip it over here. Now, I wonder, it'd be kind of fun to reverse that. Let's try that. Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to put it on the back of this one. That's not the tape. All right. And it's easier if it's facing me. I'm going to flip it around a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's find some fun colors to use with this. All right, let's try some citrus and some sunset orange. Now the other thing I was thinking, and I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to do it on this video because I'd have to get stuff out, but I'm wondering if watercolors would work with this. I do have alcohol markers too. I should try that on the next, I'll try it on the next one. Just in case you don't have alcohol inks. We want to be able to, you know, test it with other stuff. Now, I do know that if you let the alcohol ink dry, it's less chance of it muddying up color-wise. And I think I'm going to definitely wait a little bit longer for this because it's not shades of pink like the first one was. Since it's green and orange, the mixture of that would be probably an icky brown, and I don't necessarily want an icky brown. Well, I grabbed an alcohol marker. This is Vermilion, it's reddish orange. And definitely will work on there. It just doesn't spread as much as the other stuff does. But what's interesting is I wonder if you could use this, maybe find one of the blacks or the grays and actually make lines like stained glass. All right, Sunset Orange. Let's throw a couple drops of that on here. I think that is going to be enough. All right, so back to piece of tape. All right, so we got the second piece of tape. And again, we're gonna try to line up the bottom, my bottom closest to me with the tape. And squish, and squish. So pretty. Should have put a little bit more ink on top of this. It looks like a stem now, but that's okay. Make sure. Want to make sure that it's the end where I'm going to cut has been fully squished out. I did have one where after I cut it, I was able to squish a little bit of ink out. Which it ended up drying eventually, but I didn't want to, you know, put it in the wrong spot. I love it. I love it. All right, this one is a little thicker, but again, probably just want it to be a little sturdier. And I do have the words. Let me put that one on there. And there we go. Let's keep with the black. Well, I hope you like this project. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I made anything, and this thing has been on my mind for a while. I've gotten the idea, and hopefully I could track it down. I don't know off the top of my head right now, but there was someone that made a page edge. It was just a quick little short. It wasn't anything huge. Where they used the tape and they put dried flowers inside the edge of the tape for like a page. So they ripped the page, put the tape right on the edge, laid down some dried flowers, and then put the second row of tape on there. So their border edge is dried flowers, which was very pretty. It's February, dried flowers, not in my wheelhouse, as they say. I don't have any in my craft room, so it was not something that I could even think of attempting right now. I thought of when I first saw it that maybe I could use like some clear stickers And then the clear stickers went to, I've got these stickers of ink splotches, and that sticker of ink splotches went to this idea. So that was my thought process on how I actually got to this. Oh yeah, those words are fun. Those are super fun. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, let's go down. I love it. I love when a plan comes together. I wasn't planning to do reverse, so this was a bonus. I wasn't sure how the, I figured this would work for this without a problem. But you never know when something's in your head. I don't know about you, but you know, you think something in your head and then you go to do it and it just doesn't come out as well as it should. Now on something like this too, I probably could have attached it, the 3 sides, to make it a pocket where that writing was in the back side. Kind of like how I attached in the book of my sample book where that map was behind that floral. So sort of similar to that. And then whatever card you would put in there would cover up the ink words, but I absolutely love this one. So much fun. Now, if you're not too much of a fan of the shiny part, you probably could get some matte gel medium on there or something to dull it down. As I have it sitting right here. I'm not going to put it on the shiny part of the words. I'm just going to put it on the river that's next to it here. Talk about crafting on the fly, huh? Whoops. And it does kind of look like a little river in there. Well, it's not quite gone, but it might, it needs to dry a little bit more. And I might need a second coat with a brush, but it is almost gone. So it would definitely, I would think, work to get rid of that edging of it. I still do like the shiny part in the center though, with the words behind it. I really think that looks very, very cool. I love it. Probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. And that's saying a lot. All right, so I have this one. It kind of reminds me of a Christmas one with a poinsettia. So let's see if we can make one with some colors for it that are kind of a little bit darker. It is white on the back, not two-sided, so I can't do the reverse part, even though I probably... I have this one, very similar colors. That's a little bit brighter side, but that's a little bit darker. Let's do that. I like the, there's words in there too. Okay, so we're gonna rip this off. And in the end, we might have to cut it down a little bit. If I want to back it with something, might have to cut it down a little. Cut that side down, keep that side bigger. Yep, that'll work. Okay. All right, so we're going to put you and get some tape. All right, back side. Now, the only reason and I'm not sure I said that before, the only reason I do the back side is because I want to see, because you're going to be putting the ink on the sticky side. So if I put this down and I put the ink here, I'm putting the ink on the white side, and I don't really know necessarily what it's looking like per se. Okay. I'm not going to make too big of a well on this, because like I said, I got to cut it down a little bit anyway, but there we go. Okay, so for color wise, I'm thinking I have crimson and a sienna, and I'm thinking the sienna might be a little dark. I'll try it up here. Woo. Now the question is, what other color do I put on here? How about moss green? Let's see. Like I said, this is kind of leaning toward Christmas, so. Definitely Christmassy. All right, guys, so I got a little bit of white left on those side. Okay, Christmas stained glass. Oh, I like it. Oh yeah, pretty. It's hard to tell sometimes when it's laying down like that until you lift it up and see what it looks like through the stained glass. Now this one I got to be careful of because there's a big smudgy on the end there where I tested it. Now, when I was practicing, I don't know, call it practicing, but when I was trying this out, I did try putting some alcohol on here, thinking it would spread a little bit, but it did not, because I'm pretty sure it really stuck so quickly to the tape that it really didn't spread. It wasn't worth the effort to do that. I did try to use a little bit of a wet towel to kind of pick some stuff up and remove a little bit, and it made it a little blotchier, so I wasn't a fan as much of that. So just covering it and letting it squish its way through kind of ended up being the best method for this to do it. All right, let's cut this part. Almost like making a master board too, where you cut it down a little and you see what it ends up looking like. And again, this is a little bit wider than I'd like. It's also a little bit crooked. It's going uphill, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to put that one. All right, so I think I'm going to just kind of glue it like that, and then I'll come back and cut that end. And I am going to try to stamp some music, only because there are words here, so I'm thinking music might be better. Actually, this one might be a little bit more fun. dots and lines. Let's try that one. And it's definitely dark, so I think I'm gonna stick with the black. I was thinking about doing red because of the red, but we're gonna go that way. Doesn't really matter. This is not like words. Yeah, that'll be long enough. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Definitely different. Okay, let's glue this down and glue stick. All right, let's trim this bad boy down. Definitely fun. And this, I think I'm going to do like that. So this would be a fun tuck. Again, with the shine, use a little Magel Medium in the end, but not mad about it. A little brighter red than I probably would have liked. I would have liked a little bit more muted, but it definitely is fun. It seems like when you've got brighter colors, it definitely adds a little bit more fun and whimsy to the item. All right, well, I think this was a fun project, and I am so glad this is the first one that I came back from being away for. Absolutely, totally love this one. Just beyond belief. This is so much fun, too. Pocket, great idea. Love it. Like I said, be able to stick something in there. Very fun. Music notes behind that one. Very cool. And again, just wrap around a little page edge. Pockets, journal cards. I was also thinking you probably could do one this way to make a pocket, to have the strip going that way. Can't see why you couldn't do that and be able to have a pocket going in like that. Why not, right? Again, options, ideas, so much fun. But for now, I think this is going to suffice. Okay, well, that's going to be it for me today. A little bit longer video than I thought it would be. My voice held out a little bit more than I thought it would, so I'm happy about that. And if you liked the video, a thumbs up would be great. I forgot to welcome all the new people to the channel. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers, even during my hiatus of being sick, so I appreciate that. So welcome to all the new people, and I'm so happy to see some of the regulars come back too. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. As usual, thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.